Hey guys, Luke here, Tranquility based detailing. Welcome to another unboxing. In this episode, a bit of a running theme, kind of. Snow foam, just in case you don't pick up on that as we go. Very recently put a review together for TDG's pre-wash. You may have seen that, you may not, I don't know. Intentionally it's a snow foam, but I used it through a pressure sprayer. But it got me thinking that if I'm going to be reviewing and using these products, should I start using them in the manner that the manufacturer's intended? And to that question, I'd answer both yes and no. My thinking is I want to use them the way that I want to use them. So there's a certain amount of me giving my touch to things. But equally speaking, I don't want to come across a product and give it a bad review or a less than glowing review if it's down to the fact that I've not used it with the correct tools, the correct methods. So with that being said, I purchased a Snowfoam Lance. It's been a long time coming. I've avoided them. No strong reason other than that it seems a messy and kind of long-winded way to get pre-wash on your car. But I thought I'd go pick one up. And I shopped with Imran In2Detailing. You've probably seen the review for his drinker towel I did recently. So he sells these very reasonably priced, depending on the fitment on the end, circa 20 quid for a Snowfoam Lance. So really well priced. Bought one from him. Got the correct fitting for mine, and I thought, right, that's it. I'm good to go. I can snow foam. I'm on board. I had to get on board with snow foams in that I didn't really have, other than the bit that TDG sent to me, which I used. Didn't have any snow foams, so just put out on Instagram. If anyone wants a snow foam featuring, then get in touch. The two people that were reaching out to me. Both companies, different perspectives, but both personable people, personal companies. The first one that reached out was this company here, 999. 999, Northern Irish based company. They messaged me, a couple of guys, Philip and Ian. And they seem very nice guys. They said, look, we're a new firm, small firm, starting out. Let's send you some snow foam. It's going to get them obviously a little bit of coverage, which is important, and I've said this in the past and I stand by it. We need to celebrate the companies that we have, and particularly the fact we've got a lot of these small handmade, hand-produced firms, and that's something special that we need to support. So they sent me actually snow foam, and they sent me a quick detailer as well, which I didn't ask for, but I'm grateful. So thank you to both Philip and Ian for that. Their snow foam, they've sent me a big old bottle, 500 ml of it. Like most snow foams, it's recommended to add 50 to 100 ml to 1 litre of warm water. Scent-wise, they refused to tell me the scent before they sent this out. That one is cherry scented. And we were on this one straight away. I messaged them, said cherry scent that. They said, yeah, bingo. On the other one, on the quick detailer, and there's a bit of a committee, I was around my parents at the time, and I have a lot of brothers, so we're all taking it in turns sniffing this, and we're trying to pin it down. And it went ranging from tiger balm and tea tree, my guess was tea tree, to all sorts really. Everyone's having a go. It smells really pleasant. I really like it, and my guess was tea tree, and I don't mind that at all. Again, 999, they haven't come clean, they haven't told me what it is, but they told me it's a fruit-based one, so apologies for the tea tree guess, kind of a million miles away, it would seem. But yeah, I've got the two products from them to try out. I'm grateful I am as well. I put the links below for 999. Being a small firm, being a new firm, starting out, things like Instagram and Facebook, they'd value your support. So I'm going to put links to both, and if you want to go and check out what they're doing, from going through Instagram, they've got a wax in the works, and you can see, and it's nice to see this, the evolution in their pictures in the beading. And those that do like to wax know that beading can be a bit of a almost like a wax whore's dream. But you can have a look, and there's a picture from early on where they've put a bit of beading, and then there's one where it's tweaked almost there. And you can see the progression, you can see the beads have got bigger, taller, rounder. So I like that they're developing, they're going to put these things out soon. There's also, from the looks of things, a glaze that they've got on there as well. So all in all, it looks like to be a full range that they're trying to produce. And I'm quite early on board with these two products. So I'm hoping for good things. I'll be honest, and as I go through, if there's areas where I think they can tweak, and that's really my style, which hopefully you guys have found that I'm not here to, ever pull anyone down. I have respect for the fact people are willing to create and put that out into the big wide world, so why would I try and pull it down? The things that I find I might be able to do is say, well, if this were improved, it would give me X result, or if this was refined, it would give me Y result. So that tends to be my style. Equally speaking, if something floats my boat, I'm just going to point out, yeah, I like it. So I'll give these guys a rundown, I'll give them a review, and that will be soon. The next bit I'll stick on the left, couple of odd little bits, and these from Jamie from Detailer's Passion. And Jamie was running a giveaway on Instagram for Blackout, which is his panel prep. So it's an alcohol-based panel prep. I've given this a whiff already out the box, and it smells like an alcohol-based panel prep, so I'm not going to crack it open here. This isn't intended to be, perfume type of product. But what he was kind enough to do was chuck in a couple of other little oddments. So that was a giveaway. So he's put in his keyring, right there, and he's put a sample of his quick detailer. Now this I do like the smell of. I can't place it, and I've been on their website and it says it's pleasantly scented, which I like. It smells, it's certainly fruity. It's maybe a mango, something like that. It is delightful. I'll message Jamie, see if he can pin it down for me and let me know. I'm going to go with mango as my guess. That's my leading guess on that. I'll give these a go. The panel prep is an interesting one in that you see this a lot with coatings. You're applying a coating, get the paint perfect, and then clean. And I mean that, like, when you're polishing, obviously you're going to leave oils on the paintwork. You need to get those removed, and products like this come in. I don't see the Detailer's Passion do that sort of polish and ceramic coatings type of thing. Some companies go the route of having a pre-wax, and Detailer's Passion are using a panel prep. So I find it quite an interesting way to do it, and I mean that in a good way. So I'll give this a go. I'll give their quick detailer a go. And they've also got, and I encourage you guys again to check them out, they've got a liquid wax, they've got a carnauba wax as well on their website. It all looks really well presented. It's got very, very sort of consistent theme in terms of when you look through their website, in terms of labeling, things like that. It all looks really smart, really sharp. The other thing I really liked, and this is credit to Jamie for doing this, was obviously I won this, and always very grateful for winning things. I said in my Brightbacks video way back when, win something, you could basically put it on a carrier pigeon, send it to me that way. I don't care. You're giving something away, and I'm grateful for that. So don't be out of pocket with postage as well. But Jamie was very informative. He kept me in the loop, and he didn't need to do that. They got delayed a tiny bit, and he was apologetic. And I was like, hey, take your time. There is no rush with this. But it was really nice to see that he took it seriously. He took it, as an important reflection of his business. That he kept me in the loop, and there was no need to do that. So credit to him for that. Well done to him for that. And it certainly gives me the confidence with him as a company to purchase from him. And I do want to look at his other products. Once I've got this backlog done and out of the way, I want to look at some of his products and hopefully get those tried and reviewed in the future. And I'll get round to that just as and when I can. So these, I'm going to park them out of the way just for now, and then look at the other side of the table that we've got. We've basically got a couple different things. Again, back onto the snow foaming. So look at this, envelope in an envelope. In the envelope there's a bag. This is something that someone did not want to leak out anywhere. So the other company that reached out for me is a shop. So a company called R2Detail. I may just be over geeking this one, but I didn't know whether that was a Star Wars reference, like an R2D2 thing. If it's not, it's fine. If it is, great, I got it. Had someone recently, I think it was Dave on Facebook, shout out to Dave, pointing out where the Tranquility base thing came from. And one of my hobbies is astronomy. You look at the moon, Neil Armstrong and whatnot landed Tranquility base, and I just robbed it from there. So if there's a reference in R2Detail and I've got it on the money, then you know I feel good for that. If I'm a million miles away, then I'm just a geek. I'll take them on the chin. But yeah, they reached out to me and said, we'll send you a couple of snowfoams. And these are from Fireball, which is a brand that they deal with. They deal with a couple of brands. I'm really interested in trying out Fireball and Kokemi. Kokemi. I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce that one. They both look like really, really top quality brands. You know, there's a lot of detail, a lot of quality into what they're doing. And I'll get around to trying them. And I'll get around to trying them from R2Detail because, you know, they're good enough to have put some faith into me with these products. And I respect that. They did say to me they're going to send me samples, and they've sent me a sample in a full bottle, so this is not a postage issue, this is not the Royal Mail, as you can see there, it's not had a massive leak. But the two snowfoams have sent to me, they've got the hydrophobic active snowfoam, and then in the small bottle, premium active snowfoam, and this also lists as foam cannon or car shampoo. On that one, no, none of those things. The two different snowfoams from the same firm, and I looked into that because obviously the question is why would you have these two snowfoams, but one is a pre-wash and one is a post, and it's very clever. You see a lot of these spray water-based sealants, so getting a final finish on the paintwork, add some sort of hydrophobicity, may have made that word up, but that's what you've got with this one. So this one, Snowfoam, that would be used as your pre-wash in the pre-wash Snowfoam traditional sense of the word, and then this one is the follow-on. So once you've done your clean and whatnot, if you want to get some protection on the paint and time is against you or anything like that, that's where this one comes in. So you'd use it through the Snowfoam Lance, spray it onto the car, pressure wash off, and then just dry your car, and that's that sorted. And I've seen videos on this, it looks very impressive. The chap from Fireball Australia, you know, we had a good chat on Instagram, and he was telling me he used this as his demo product. You know, if he's going and he's putting on any sort of cell, this is one that he leads with, and he says it really is that good. So I'm really excited for trying that. Scent wise, it's got like a violet type of scent to it. It's nice, very pleasant, subtle. And the other one, not really getting much from that. It may all come out, you know, once you're using these things. And I found that with the TDG's pre-washes, the scent I couldn't really put a hold on, a handle on. But when I actually started using it, diluted it and spraying it, the smell came out of that one. It was glorious. So hopefully the same with these, but I'll report in just as and when I know. And then the very final box, this is one of my favourite brands. This is Autoglanz, so based in Wales. I own a lot of what Autoglanz do. I like what they do. And Joe from Autoglanz, he's got a great philosophy with what he does. And, you know, we had this bit of a chat about what he sells. It needs dilution, typically. I mean that in the water-based things. I spoke to him and he said, look, water's near on free and you've got it at your end, so why would it cost you to post my water out? And I think it's a great mindset, and I agree with him. He sells things in concentrate. I've got his wheel cleaner, I've got his tyre dressing, I've got shampoos, I've got his first wax Ciara that he released, got quite a few others. Really, really like his range. The one thing I've never had to buy, again going back to, you know, not snow foaming, was his snow foam, which is pieced. You can have with Autoglanz for a miserly increase, and I think it's generally like £1, maybe £2. You can have custom scents and colours. So I've ordered this one in the standard scent and standard colour. So green is an apple scent. So it smells appley. Really looking forward to trying that, because everything I see with Autoglanz and everything I know from my experience, the stuff just works. So forked out for a litre of that, which came in at 12 quid. So really, really good value. Autoglanz, they go to this trouble of extra bagging what they do for delivery. And you can see that it's had a bit of a, I mean like a minuscule leak during transit. And it just goes to show you that these small details, like this extra bag, it stopped it from spoiling the packaging. You know, it's kind of kept it from becoming a major problem. So it's a nice touch from them, but I wanted to put it in the video, not to say, hey, you've delivered me something that leaked, but it's more a case to say, hey, I like what you're doing with that, and look, it works. So, you know, that's more just a, you know, tip of the cap to them for doing that. The other things I wanted to order, did want to order their all-purpose cleaner, which is called Infinite. There's a chap on Facebook that I chat with on my page called Hakeem, and he suggested to me to get the Infinite, and I said, look, I'll get it, and I'll give you a shout out on your recommendation. It was out of stock, so apologies to him for that. I will get round to it, I'll review it in the future. So I've got that. The other bits I wanted to get from them, you guys know, and I'm an absolute sucker for trying to be first with things where I can. They released days ago, and I do mean days ago, their brand new wax. So to date, Autoglanz have 2 waxes, which is their Ciara wax. Like I said, I've already got one of those. They have their show wax called Aura. This one, Paradox, essentially the blurb for it, the write-up for it, is that they've achieved a ridiculously low price by essentially making some clever business decisions. So that's it there. What they've decided to do is to print the labels in-house. They've kept it in a tin, not a glass jar. And they've bulk bought the ingredients to get them in ahead of time, so that they can make in a larger volume and therefore manage the costs. All in all, what that does for you as consumer is it means you can get 150 ml of their wax, and believe me, this will be, you know, a good wax. Like I said, I have a lot of experience with their range, and it's all great. 150 ml of their wax, lovely colour, lovely scent, for 16 quid, and that's ridiculously cheap. You know, we've got companies like Wax Junkies out there I have a lot of love for. You know, they're doing premium waxes at, you know, really reasonable prices, and this is kind of stepping on the toes of that a little bit. And I don't mean that to put them in direct competition, because I've got both. So, and I'd encourage you to buy both as well. Like I always say, spend your money, blame it on me. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, that, if you want to start waxing and you want to kind of get on board, when you look at something like that, 16 quid is going to be worth every penny, and I'd say have a crack, look into that. The other thing then that's in this package is for the hat trick. The one that I'm missing is their Aura, their show wax. So this, they're doing 2 sizes. It's about 15 quid for this, the sample size. And they do the larger, the full size, which is sort of mid-30s. Designs their show wax. It's using the same colour and scent as their quick detailer, Smooth Velvet, which is an absolutely fantastic quick detailer. You won't find a bad word said about it. It is that good. But this basically, it's got everything about that scent, colour, smells delightful. It's like a chocolate praline scent. It feels quality. It's got a nice oily touch to it. I'm going to get them all reviewed. I'm going to try and get them all in one review video, so that you can have essentially an overview of what Autoglanz are doing in wax form. So you've got these 3 waxes, and I'm sure they all bring something new and different to the table, and I want to try and show you what that is. But yeah, that's everything. As I always say to you guys, links are going to be below. So if you want to look into what these are, where to buy them, and where to go and support these guys, I'm going to put all the links thoroughly below. So have a click through there, check these guys out. They're all nice people, and they are great companies, and you know, they deserve your support. And as always, got the links for me, so subscribe button there, and I'll put the links to other videos there. I'll just let that random pick. And as always, thanks for coming along. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and see me on the next video. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.